Thank you all very much. Well, you have heard from your Member of Parliament and your representative here from Diego Martin West. We have heard from the Catholic Board. But most important, we have heard from you, our parents. The parents of our beautiful 200-plus children, whether from Roman Catholic school or whether from the government school. They are all our students. They are all your children. And therefore we have to take the responsibility of ensuring their education comes first. And this is why I'm here at the behest of your Member of Parliament to listen to you this evening. I have heard both sides. And what the last point that Dr. Rowley made is the question of a perceived differentiation that is taking place among residents who have lived together for years as families and friends. But this situation is now seeming to bring you apart. And this is not acceptable. We must protect the parents as well as the children. And therefore, if you are having some difficulties as parents of students in the Roman Catholic school, as with parents from the Anglican schools, we want you to bridge the divide. We want you to come together. How can the minister assist you in coming together? Because as was mentioned by the Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West, children have an innate sense of perception that if there is a difficulty amongst parents, they begin to feel different and they will respond and react with their colleagues in the classroom differently. And this is, we cannot afford that in our education system, particularly for the young minds and young brains of our children. There must be some bringing together of all our children. Now, how do we do this? We had two schools, a Catholic school and a government school. At the moment, we have one school, and that is the Point Cumana Government Primary School. We are housing the students of the Catholic school. Now, until such time that the Catholic Board can come to the Ministry of Education and indicate that somewhere around here that you have found land that is available for us to construct a school for you, we will certainly consider it. But then I have to ask the question, in a community here where we have approximately 200 plus students, and this school can accommodate the 200 plus students, do I have to consider a rebuilding of another Catholic school when all students could be housed in one school? Can I take taxpayers' money and build another school again, which will be 50% occupied or less than 50% occupied? And this school can accommodate all the students from the area here, is something that we will have to consider for the future with the Catholic Board. Now, this problem, how do we solve it? There is no question that there must be an integration of the students of the Roman Catholic school with the students of the Anglican school. No longer must we have separation of classes. No longer. The students have to be together. They must have the playing areas together, the toilet facilities together, the libraries together. There must be no differentiation. So with immediate effect, I am directing my Chief Education Officer, Mr. Sicharan, together with our school supervisor, to immediately come together with the two principals to ensure that this separation of the premises no longer takes place with immediate effect. Students must be treated equally and they must have the equal facilities as the other child has. There must be no separation. Now, in terms of where the students are going to be, let's say there were 15 students in infant year 1 from the Catholic and 15 from the primary school. Those are 30 students. Whether we will have to have 2 infant year 1 classes to house these 30 students, that will have to be determined by the principals, but it must take place. There must be integration. Then the question of who teaches, we will allocate who teaches where. So whether it's a teacher from the Catholic school teach a particular class, or a teacher from the primary school teach a Catholic class, a particular class, we will ensure that all the students are taught. We cannot separate the teachers. A teacher is meant to teach children. We cannot say that the teacher must be teaching only Catholic students from the Catholic school, or the teachers from the government school teaching students from the government school alone. There will be an integration of the teachers, there will be an integration of the students, and there will be integration of the premises and the surroundings in this school. When the time comes that the Catholic board has put its house in order and can find a place for us to consider building a school for them, is a question then we will have to consider. But we will have to treat this, bearing in mind what Dr. Rowley said, that he has been here for 20 years and this problem in trying to find a new site for the Catholic school has been with him for 20 years. We do not believe that this is going to be a temporary solution. This seems to be a permanent solution as it is at the moment. So we will operate under the principle that it is a permanent solution. We have one school that will house both sets of students. We have one school that will accommodate both sets of teachers. And we have one school where we'll have to determine, as far as the principal is concerned, what we have to do about the 2 principals issue. So I want to close by telling you that with immediate effect, I hope, would you give the Ministry of Education just one day to come in tomorrow and sort the problem out? Mr. Sicharan, you and the school supervisor must come and work with the principals and then make sure that the premises are all used together. There is no separate time for lunch, no separate time for break. It must be one time. When the students of the Roman Catholic school have to pray and they have to do the ecumenism, they will find a solution in terms of how they can move out of the class. Please, can we have one meeting? Right? You all are comfortable with that? No? All right. All right. We cannot please everybody all the time. There would be some people who would be disturbed and would not be comfortable with it. But as your Minister of Education, I have to make a decision. And my decision is that it is an integrated school. It is one school, one premise for all the students, and all the facilities belong to all the students. I end this meeting by thanking all of you to be here. Thank you very much.